man of the hour, in my opinion, in certain ways. Dr. Searcy, how you doing?
I'm grateful.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love what you're doing for the students. I feel like you are bringing a lot of diversity and just a lot of inclusivity to the campus, showing different cultures and subcultures. I would imagine, the times that we're in, that's your initiative, but where does that originally stem from? Take us a little bit through the journey of becoming a doctor and then working at CSUN and everything like that.
So you got 2 days for this story? All right. So
go ahead.
So just the real brief version is it's somewhat accidental. So I didn't really set out to be an administrator at a university. I didn't even set out to be a professor. I was doing a lot of community work at the time, and I was going to school. And one of my mantras that I've adopted from that time and continues to today is, what good is knowledge if it doesn't change my behavior? So from that point, I continued to get additional degrees, and so that impacted and changed my behavior. So then I had some good mentors who suggested going on to get a PhD, and so I ended up doing that, but I also always had one leg in the community and the other leg at the university, so just my entire career. And music is my drug. And so I'm also of that generation, I'm of that generation who remembers the first time they heard Sugar Hill Gang, all right? And so from Rapper's Delight, so we're talking about like 79 at roller rinks and the like, and so I never stopped liking and being attracted to hip hop. And even from high school, I was a break dancer at that time. Even for 10 seconds, decided that I was gonna rhyme, and that wasn't it. In college, I DJ'd for a second and decided that wasn't it, but it ended up being like the academics was the thing that stuck, but the love for the music continued. So, like I said, this is a shorter version of it, but that continued. And one of the realizations that I had was that you can do everything. So you can be an intellectual, you can be in the community, and you can enjoy the music. And the ideal intersection is to bring it all together. The ideal place happens to be a university. So it is a universe. And so I know you're mentioning inclusiveness, and it's not just because of this time, it's for all time. It's always been, it's a lifestyle and it's an approach. So that's the journey. And so I'm at CSUN. One of the things that I wanted to do almost as soon as I got here was to bring this vision to life. And right. So here it is, and to be able to walk into it for like 3 years in a row, it's beautiful. So when you ask me how I'm doing, so grateful is the word that comes to mind.
No, it's super awesome. I mean, we've been blessed to work with Ab-Soul through our guys Coyote, and a lot of people touch on the elements of hip hop. It's usually 4, right? MCing, DJing, breakdancing, graffiti.
Yep. And
Ab-Soul went ahead and said, knowledge is self. Mm-hmm. And you bringing up, what's knowledge if it doesn't change my mind? It doesn't change my behavior and how you operate in the world. What was the artist that made you want to start changing, or what, started that enlightenment?
So it's artists, and it's also that movement. So I would say it all happened around the same time. So I was a college freshman in 1986, and BDP, KRS-One, Public Enemy came around like 87 and 88, and then the Big Daddy Kane and that whole movement of black consciousness came around. So it's not just one, but there were certain songs, I even remember this distinctly with Public Enemy, when Chuck D rhymed as like, even supporter of Chesimard. And we were like, who is Chesimard? Who is Chesimard? So we have to go and look this person up. And so for some of your viewers, that's a library. We didn't Google, right? So we had to go, we had to find this out or ask some elders to find out who Joanne Chesimard was. But then the artists were dropping different information in the songs, and so like all of it was inspirational. It's happening at the same time.
No, that's super dope, because I mean, we are in the era of information. You know, everything's accessible, and also we're dealing with AI that can tell you anything and everything for the most part. What is something, as a doctor, as you know, as you said, a community leader, what is one thing that you always try to instill in your students so they can further grow and always continue to grow?
See, one thing, that's, one thing.
It could be multiple things too.
All right, so I'm thinking about just consistently, and so I'm gonna frame it as, this is what I do. I recognize the greatness which is in each and every one of them, and I see them for what they have the potential to become, because I see them for who they are right now, but I also know what's in them. So what I attempt to do, and I have attempted to do, is to have them develop that same sense of self so that they can get to be where I know that they can be. So that's the entire educational experience. And even with C.I.P.H.E.R, so I mentioned it's the Center for the Interdisciplinary Pursuit of Hip Hop Elevation and Research. So this genre inspires, but let us get us to the point where we can elevate. And so elevate the community. There's so much potential here, and it's unrealized. Ross Cass had said on stage, yeah, we've had enough of a particular genre, okay? So there's a place for it, but there's also a place for, particularly at this time, let's do some more political things. Let's mobilize communities. Let's utilize this music. And almost in the United States, the majority of movements, whether it was the anti-war movement, whether it was the civil rights movement, music accompanied that.
Right.
Where we at?
Right.
Let's elevate. Like where are we right now? There's a little bit more than just showing off and showing out. Let's show and prove.
Yeah. My last question to you is, you being a specific identity, right? And this goes for anybody who wants to create social change, you know, us as Black men. And you're dealing with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, socioeconomic situations and stuff like that. How do you go about reaching people individually and then on a macro level, you know, in a department or a university or cases like that?
So, if I'm understanding the question correctly, I don't go about it. There's no strategy. Okay, so let me explain. The only person I have control over is me. All right, and so people are like, how do you motivate people? How do you lead? I gotta lead my life. Okay, and so if I control myself, there's a commitment to these ideals and these goals. Then if it's something that people think is valuable, then they will follow. Okay, so I'm not setting out intentionally to like, you got to follow me. There's an idea or there's ideals. So one of the things that I like to do, or among the things, is to, let's go back to elevation, elevate people's thinking, elevate their experiences, expose them to different possibilities, and then allow them to make the choices. Often they'll make that choice to continue to elevate. And so that's all. So it's not like, okay, I gotta lead these people. I don't think that way. It's a collective, but then it starts out with me. And I mean, this is just real. There are well, you actually said something about, you know, like a community leader. That made me uncomfortable because I'm not. All right, I'm just, you know, I'm pops, I'm a husband, you know, and sometimes I'll just say, you know, I'm just a black guy. I'm just out here.
Yeah,
right, so like,
doing my best.
Them, you know,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just out here.
Yeah.
I sometimes say, you know, this is brother hustling, you know. So, I say that, but people, when you say like, how do you say this to like everybody and the like, people, you can't fool adolescents and you can't fool babies. All right, this is what I just say. You can't fool adolescents, you can't fool babies because they recognize authenticity. So as long as you're an authentic person, that appeals to everybody. You can't even speak the same language, but people recognize spirit. There's like soul recognition. So if somebody's in the room, it's like, there's something positive about this. But then you also feel when there's something negative about people, like, something evil this way comes, right? And so you don't gotta miss me. Let me get out of that room. So what I'm saying is that when people connect with the positivity within themselves and feed, there's a wisdom, and there's a wisdom. So often I will tell my sons this. I also tell some young people about this. There's a wisdom from an indigenous elder. This is a Native American elder who his grandson was with him, and the elder was saying, there's two wolves. Every person has the two wolves inside of them. There's the one that's insecure, the one that's envious, the one that there's jealousy, and there's the one that is just unsure of themselves. And then the elder also said, but there's also the other person who believes in the best of people, who strives for the best in themselves and their communities and just is committed. And so the young person looked at the elder and said, well, if we got both of them, which one is the most dominant? Which one is the one that's within me? And the elder said to the youngster, whichever one you feed.
It's a gem.
All right, so whichever one you feed. So I'm going back to C.I.P.H.E.R and elevating. So let's feed the positivity. And so when we feed people that positivity, people are hungry. So you give them the real food. You give them the vegetables, all right? And that's where people elevate. That's where the community gets better. And it's not like you're following one person. You're following ideas and ideals. And then the community comes together.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. And it reminded me of Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. You have your food, you have your liquor. Positive, negative, yin and yang, all coexist. Just depends on which energy you basically feed into. So,
There it is.
well, thank you for your knowledge. We appreciate your
definitely.
time and the invite.
Justin.
Thank
And,
you.
If you're still filming this, I've just got to say,
Yeah, of course.
I'm enjoying your expansion, the growth of Justified Media.
Thank you.
I'm liking where you're going and where you're headed, and so it's just good. So actually, when I walked in here, I was giving you a little bit. I was like, man, you got like 2 cameras, you got 3 years, So I'm saying that from a place of admiration and appreciation, and I'm really smiling. And so, you're like one of those people. I was like, dang, this guy needs to blow up soon. But here's the thing. It's already in you, so I'm just happy. I'm happy to be part of this,
thank you.
This in your journey.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a team effort. I mean, you're only as good as your team, and I couldn't ask for better teammates. But
Excellent.
no, I appreciate you, and
definitely.
it's been love since day one.
Yes, sir.
So I know it always will be love, and we just want to continue to build and help, grow the department as much as we can, and show up.
Thanks. Just answer my phone calls in about 3 years, please.
No, I'm dude. Yeah, we about to talk off camera.
And when I need about $3 to get me to pay, to the next payday, just help a brother
No,
out.
I got you.